Hello, everybody. This is JP Panther 256, and I'm here to talk about Spider-Man leaving the MCU. In my personal, we're gonna talk, we're gonna talk more about it and things like that. Spider-Man leaving. I'll be honest, it does suck and it does stink that he's leaving the MCU because I felt like Tom Holland did such a great job with this Spider-Man after the other Spider-Man movies that weren't that good. Spider-Man 1, 2 were good. Spider-Man 1 and 2 were good. Spider-Man 3 was pretty bad. Amazing Spider-Man to me just wasn't that good. And Tom Holland's I thought was probably the best Spider-Man among all of the other Spider-Mans. But the problem is that with Spider-Man is that he was never this Tom Holland Spider-Man. He wasn't really never his Spider-Man. Um, he was always like Iron Boy. Like he always felt like he was always under the shadow of Tony Stark, so he never really felt like his own. And to me, when Disney got him, he felt more like another Iron Man Jr. more than Spider Man. And when the Russo brothers did Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, that felt more like a Spider Man comic book representation because the Russo brothers really know how to write these characters really, really well. Sony taking out Spider-Man. I understand from their business point of view is that we can't just give Disney 50-50 of everything because from a business point of view, that's dumb. That's not a really smart, intelligent business move. You're just giving away half of your entire investment and your number one asset to one company that you guys are still confrontational and you guys are still competitors. You guys are still rivals despite that you guys came together and formed this partnership. You guys are still competition at the end of the day. So it was really hard. I can understand from Kevin Feige's point of view trying to get two major corporations like Sony and Disney to come together and get Spider-Man into the MCU. But now with Sony, and a lot of people are kind of very hesitant because of what they did in the past. And honestly, in my personal opinion, I'm very disappointed. But at the same time, I feel like one day they're gonna probably get it worked out or something like that. Spider-Man is too much of a big superstar to not come back in the MCU. But the problem is that if you watch Spider-Man Far From Home, he's too. They made him the next. Trying to explain. They made him the next Tony Stark. Technically, they made him the new Avenger. Technically, the Star Avenger. And again, you got Black Panther, Captain Marvel, both made $1 billion. Spider-Man Far From Home made $1 billion. But again, Disney got to realize that it was never your property. It was always Sony's property. Even though you guys have the merchandise rights and all the money. Yeah, I get what I think is like 5. So Disney gets like 5% of the box office, and I think Disney gets like 5% of the box office, and then they get everything else, and then like 95% of the box office goes straight to Sony. But again, that's their property; they pay for it, and that's something you guys got to deal with. And I have this quote, right? I guess this is the statement that the Disney CEO released. This is what he said. He says, "We had a great run with Feige on Spider-Man movies. We try to see if there's a way to work it out. The Marvel people are terrific. We have great respect for them, but on the other hand, we have some pretty terrific people of our own. Kevin Feige didn't do all the work." And I can understand from that point of view. It's like, Kevin Feige's doing like multiple Marvel movies. We'll talk about Phase 4 and things like that in the future, probably in another video as well. But in this point is that they already have so many properties. They already bought X-Men, Fantastic Four, Deadpool with the whole Disney Fox merger. So in their point of view, it's like to me, I feel like you don't need Spider-Man for, when you have the rights to all these characters, you really don't need Spider-Man. But the thing is that Spider-Man is a character that everybody can bring everyone together. So I understand that they want to keep. I understand that Sony wants to keep Spider-Man and they want to do their own thing. They're going to do Spider-Verse. They already have the Spider-Verse. They already had Venom. Venom to me was not a bad movie. It just was kind of mediocre. And, again, I can still watch it as a popcorn flick. But again, it wasn't like a masterpiece or nothing like that. And from a business point of view, you got to realize that Sony, despite all, Marvel taking over, things like that, they've made Spider-Man movies in the past. You know, even before was it before Far From Home, Spider-Man 3, despite how much everyone hated the movie, and I didn't like the movie as well, it still was the highest grossing Spider-Man movie worldwide, even beating Homecoming. Far From Home made all that money because it came after Avengers Endgame, now is the highest grossing film of all time. And Spider-Man got the Iron Man 3 treatment, where, you know, the first Avengers came out, made a bunch of money, then Iron Man 3 gets kind of the, takes the momentum of that. So that's why, you know, it made a bunch of money, you know, Iron Man 3 and Far From Home. So, again, in my personal opinion, you know, Sony, they're going to do their own thing with Spider-Man. And, you know, Marvel, they have a lot of characters, so there's no purpose of them worrying about Spider-Man. But in my personal opinion, it's just it just really sucks. As fans, you know, we really like Tom Holland and Spider-Man. You know, I mean, Tobey Maguire was pretty good for its time. Andrew Garfield, I just didn't like, in my personal opinion. Like, he's okay, but he just was not that good. And a lot of it's not his fault. A lot of it's probably the script and things like that. But overall, you know, Marvel's going to do their own thing. Sony's going to do their own thing. And that's pretty much it, man. And that's what it is for as fans and things like that. And we'll just keep, you know, we'll probably see him in the Venomverse or the Spider-Verse or whatever they're going to call it. And now that, you know, Disney already has all these characters, so it's not like they have to rush to do it. And that's really it. You know, after that, you know, it's all business at the end of the day. You got to realize that everything is a business decision. As much as people were on the side of Disney and, you know, we're going against Sony was really doing the best business decisions you can think, because you're not going to just give away everything that you want. That's really it, guys. I have another video talking about Phase 4 and other videos in the future. Like, subscribe, rate the video, and have a great day.